How to break the overthinking cycle, even if you've tried before and you think, oh, nothing works, I'm just an overthinker, that's where I am, nothing's going to change, all that kind of stuff. So, do you ever feel like your brain is stuck on a loop? Replay, worry, repeat, replay, worry, repeat, replay, worry, repeat. It's just a constant woo, woo, woo. But overthinking doesn't mean that you're broken. It means your brain is trying to protect you. It's trying to make you notice something or stop you doing something or, trying to make it so that you're not anxious about something. But what I want to talk to you about today is how to break that cycle gently. We don't have to be going in there with a big sledgehammer. We can just do it gently. I don't know about you, but I used to rehearse conversations in my head. I still do that actually, but this time I do it without actually feeling anxious about it. Where before I would always do conversations, arguments that I'd had with my husband, or things that I'd said to my parents, or things that I'd said to my kids, or things that they'd said to me, or friends, or whatever it might be. And I used to play these conversations over and over in my head. I used to say things 10 to 15 times before actually saying it out loud. And I'd second guess texts and choices and compliments. Somebody give me a compliment, I'd be like, I'll brush it off, or I'd give them a compliment back straight away. Or I'd send a text message to somebody and I'd be already thinking that their reply is going to be this, this, and this, and they've not even sent me a reply yet. And I had this constant loop going round and round and round in my head. I mean, this happens to us all, and it can be that, it's just something that we naturally do. But when it's something that is constantly there all the time and you're just playing it round and round and round and you feel like you can't get off, then this is what I want you to try. So if all this sounds familiar to you, overthinking, it's not just exhausting, it's paralyzing, but there is a way out. Overthinking is your brain's way of seeking certainty in an uncertain world. And it shows up in what ifs. So these are the spirals that we're going. What if this happens? What if that happens? Like a few months ago, I went to an in-person day, and I was so terrified. I don't even know why I was terrified. I'd met all these ladies before, but I was just so terrified. And my brain was coming up with all sorts of excuses. I mean, I suffer really badly with migraines, and my brain was like, you're going to get a migraine, you're going to feel sick, you shouldn't go because then you're going to embarrass yourself. And it was coming up with all these, well, what if you get there and nobody speaks to you? What if you get there and nobody finds what you've got to say interesting? What if you get there and, it's just not what you wanted it to be? Or all these things were going on. And then my husband just went to me, you're going out the door, get in the car, I'll drop you off, you're going. And we went, and I had a really, really fantastic time. And it was lovely to speak to these ladies, but if I'd listened to the what ifs, I wouldn't have gone. We also do replay loops, so we'll keep replaying scenarios over and over and over again. And we do analysis paralysis. And that's where we analyze everything, and then it paralyzes us to not want to do the thing that we was going to do. And we do this quite a lot, and we don't know we're doing it. It's an automatic response, and we don't actually know we're doing it. But the key isn't to shut it down. The key is to retrain it. So what I want you to do is I want you to try this, because this is some of the things that I do. I want you to name it. So I want you to call it out. My brain is looping again. You know, you can give your looping a name if you want. So you could say, oh, Mavis is on one again, or Norman's on one again, or whatever it might be. Because that helps you then to identify it, and you've given it a name so that you identify it and you can shut it down. The other thing that I want you to think about is labeling the thought. What is this thought that you're thinking about? For me, it was fear of not knowing. Even though I'd spent 4 months with these ladies, it was not knowing, you know, where I going to fit in? Will people think I'm a fraud? So it was the fear of that. So what I want you to do is label the thought. Is this a fear? Is it a fact? Or is it a future fantasy? And then the other thing that I want you to do is to redirect. So what would calm you down in that moment? It doesn't have to solve the problem, but what would calm you down in that moment? You know, what can you think about that'll redirect you? For me, it's going around the house with a piece of sage. I think about that and it smells beautiful, that. It's going around the house with that and clearing out all negative energies when things have happened, or I've been in a loop, or whatever it might be. Then I used that to redirect. So I think about me walking around the room and going in each room. So I'll give you an example, okay? I had a coaching client who couldn't decide whether to leave a job or stay in the job. They'd been in this job for quite a while. They'd been offered another job. They were going to get more money. It was better hours. It was a better job. But they were stuck. Do I stay with what I know? Do I go with uncertainty? And so they came to me and they was like, I really don't know what to do. But then once we stripped down the what ifs down to facts and values, you know, we got a pad and paper and we wrote it down, and it was, you know, thinking about what all these what ifs were. And then we changed them into, you know, are they real facts, or are they just things that you're scared of? And what values and what would you get out of going to this new job? And what do you get if you stay in your old job? And once we'd done that, they were able then to make that choice. And she took the choice of going to the new job, and she's never looked back since. You know, so think about what these what ifs are stopping you doing, because they can really make a difference in your life. So I share tools like these in my 12-week coaching program. It's a 12-week coaching intensive, and it's especially for people who want to make bold, calm decisions without spiraling. If you want to quieten the noise and build confidence in your choices, I'd love to walk that path with you, holding your hands, having you in a container that keeps you safe and keeps you motivated. Overthinking might be your brain's habit, but remember this: peace can be your new pattern. So drop a brain emoji if this spoke to you, or share your go-to strategy for quietening the mind. Let's create calmer brains together. So that's it for today. I shall see you all again soon. Bye for now.